Good early morning. How's everybody out there today? December 25th, 2020. Well, so the Jets finally at last got their first victory of the season. And what an upset they pulled. A road upset of the playoff bound Los Angeles Rams. In a game that, truthfully, they deserve to win. I mean, they outplayed the Rams. Everyone's thinking of all games, they put out an A effort, and they did that against the number one defense in the league. I mean, it's like, wait, you sit there and you're like, where was this all year? Albeit they blew the Patriot game, they blew the Raiders game, probably should have won the Bronco game as well. I mean, not like it makes too much of a difference, so you think, but there's at least 3 or 4 wins that the Jets left behind. But outside of that, I want to talk about the fans that are disgusted at this victory. I have never seen anything so divisive after a win as terms as this. Obviously, we have this generational quarterback, Trevor Lawrence from Clemson, coming out declaring for the draft this year. And let me say this, okay? Like I said before, 3 years ago, you wanted to suck for Sam. 3 years later, because us Jet fans are so impatient, okay, we want to tank for Trevor, like he's going to be the almighty savior to fixing this franchise. Where at the rate things are going, anytime the Jets tend to draft a quarterback, they tend to get him killed. Okay, name Sanchez, even though Sanchez had probably the best offensive line, you know, Geno Smith, you know, Ryan Fitzpatrick, who, led to some decency, but then he got his overinflated ego, and then ever since then, the offensive line has just been made of Swiss cheese. You suck for Sam, and you suck for Sam. We get him. We went from 7-9. No, I'm sorry, no, 4-12. You know, Todd Bowles out. Now we have Adam Gase, who's done no better. 7-9 year followed by this. So, but of course he's barely had any pieces. But let me tell you something, okay? To all the fans out there that, hated this win, thinking, oh, it's gonna set us back 10, 15 years. Oh, it's gonna, do all this great stuff. Why? I mean, listen, I'm sick of mediocrity as well. I'm sick of the losing. I'm sick of painful losses. This loss is not painful. Oh, but it's meaningless. Maybe meaningless. I know this sounds pathetic. I would rather be 1-15 than live with the statistical shame of being 0-16. You can keep the '08 Lions and the 2017 Browns can keep that honor. Okay? But I have never seen something so divisive than what I've seen the past few days on posts. On TV, on Facebook posts and whatever. You know, why did they win this game? First of all, players they don't go out to throw games. They don't do that. Greg Williams was stupid. Maybe he had tanking on his mind and it cost him his job. But, I root for victories. I don't care about the draft. I mean, yeah, we draft now, we can only draft no lower than second. So it's 1 and 2 between the Jets and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the Jaguars are pretty quarterback needy themselves. But let me tell you something, okay? We drafted Sam Darnold, 3 years. It's like, you don't have the right pieces around the guy. And we have a general manager that seemingly knows what he's doing. He's tearing it all down. But, we've been evaluating and we've been looking. So far, we've seen some bright spots in the defense, despite how inexperienced. You're seeing the positives of everything. But let me tell you something about Trevor Lawrence. Even if the Jets were to draft Trevor Lawrence, okay, one guy is not going to be the savior to an entire team. Okay, the guy has not taken an NFL snap, and for all these people out there, all these past players that have been, these highly touted quarterbacks. Oh, but he's great. How many of these guys didn't work? Most recent example I can think of is Tim Tebow. Heisman winner and everything. You saw his mechanics in the NFL; they stunk. You've seen Ryan Leaf. You've seen Jamarcus Russell. You've seen Vince Young. You've seen all these highly touted quarterbacks. Oh, but he's going to be the best thing since Peyton Manning coming out of the draft. Did you notice that some of these successful quarterbacks don't even come out of the first round? They're not hot commodities. See Patrick Mahomes, first round pick, but didn't go to like 10th or something like that. They weren't these exactly must haves coming out of college. It wasn't like that. But the bottom line is just stop with the Trevor crap. You do not know what he's going to be when he hasn't taken a snap in professional football yet. College football is not the NFL. Your college success is not going to translate to the NFL. Because it's like I said, even if we draft him and he doesn't become as effective, he becomes, every other quarterback we've had in the past, basically. 2023 is going to come. It's going to be rinse and repeat, and you want a new quarterback. That is how unsatisfied us Jet fans are. Okay? This is how we are. This is saying, oh, hey, let's get this guy the moment someone gets cut or is in free agency, and why he'd be a valuable asset to the team. But you sit there and you tell me, what is Trevor Lawrence? I mean, if we get him, great. I'll be on board. I will root for the kid. I will. But I'm just addressing this tank for Trevor crap. Okay? Like I said, you don't know what he's going to be. Okay? You wanted to suck for Sam. Unfortunately, Sam hasn't paid. You need pieces around the guy. You invested, we invested our time. Excuse me. We decided, Sam Darnold in what was a big quarterback class in 2018. Darnold, and unfortunately, he's had no team around him. He doesn't have Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen or, who else, what I'm saying? But you don't know what Trevor Lawrence is. And if the Jets don't get him, I do not root for losses for my team. I don't do it. Whether they win, great. If they lose, it sucks. But, I don't take any pleasure in rooting for my team to lose. I don't do it. And I never will. For any draft pick, nothing. It's like Herman Edwards said, you play to win the game. And that's why I watch the team. Hopeful in hopes of a victory, not hopes of losing. And especially not when it's playing against our chief rival. See the Patriots in a couple of weeks. I would never do that, ever. Okay? Like I said, you don't know a darn thing. Oh, yeah, he's gonna save this franchise. He's gonna be. You do not know that. So I would slow my roll a little bit before, this kid comes into the league, puts on a Jet uniform, if he does, and all of a sudden tout this kid. Because after every reason, 2023, pessimist as I am, 2023 is going to come and you're going to be like, let's get another quarterback at this rate, at the rate we're going. But sitting there taking, saying, being ticked off that we won last Sunday, why? The draft's not going to guarantee you a daggone thing. Nothing. Oh, so when Trevor Lawrence is going over the Jaguars, blah, 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 and torching it up. Again, you do not know that. You don't. So the Trevor nonsense needs to stop. Just stop it. Like I said, first round draft picks, number one out of the draft, they guarantee you nothing. Look at Tom Brady. He was a late pick. What was it? Was he a sixth round, fourth round? I don't remember. Chad Pennington. He was late round. He wasn't, exactly highly touted. Look what he became before the arm issues. So don't sit there and tell me that almighty Trevor Lawrence is going to save this franchise before he's taken an NFL snap. Don't even try it. That being said, I don't know how much more time I have on this. So I'm going to wrap here for now. It's late. I'm tired. I need sleep. So it's been a tough week and everything else in between. So Jets and the Browns on Sunday, Baker Mayfield. And we'll see what the secondary can bring, because Cleveland is a very tough matchup for a team that is headed to the playoffs for the first time in 18 years. And after being laughingstocks for how many years. So, they're going to be hungry for this game. That being said, deuces.